Hello, everybody. I'm Dennis Prager. This is the Fireside Chat, the chat. And Otto is already up, which is very, very worrying because it means that he'll probably leave before the chat is over. So Otto, we pay Otto for about 35, 40 minutes. So if we start late and he was already there, he knows the contract and he doesn't stay longer. It's an issue. Anyway, that's Otto. Needless to say, it's great to be with you. This is a chance to just speak spontaneously about what's on my mind and what's on your mind, because half of the chat is taking your questions. By the way, don't forget to send us questions. Just don't make them long, because it takes time to read the whole question on the chat. Oh, I knew it. I predicted it. At least you saw. Thank God we started when we did. You saw Otto. You know what it is? My wife gives him a snack. You often before the chat, right? Because he gets hungry at about this time. Well, what's a fireside chat without Otto? Anyway, he was there in the beginning, and so just imagine, like Mr. Snuffleupagus, wasn't he have an invisible friend? Or was it Mr. No, that was Big Bird's invisible friend was Mr. Snuffleupagus. Where did that come from in my brain? The stuff people remember. Okay, where were we? Yes, so I told you about that, and a few other very preliminary comments. Today is the last day of fundraising month for PragerU. As you know, the Fireside Chat and everything else is free. The reason we could produce so much material is that people support us. And just like you to know that this last day, whatever you give will be tripled. That's a generous donor has made that possible. So you give $100, it's $300. That's a big deal. By the way, you give $5, it's $15. You give what you can afford. I would like, though, in light of that, didn't I mention, Megan, have I not mentioned my theory on you should always pay for what you get?
Yeah, you did a couple weeks ago.
A couple of weeks ago. Yeah, like I sent to the websites that ask for my hobbies, like photography. It's such a beautiful habit to get into. Of if you use something to just, pay for it. Anyway, so I appreciate whatever you can. We appreciate it. It's not just I. It's a lot of us at PragerU. Thank you. Any other preliminary comments? We're good?
We're good.
So last week I mentioned, I don't remember in what regard, a characteristic that I think is worthy of pursuit for people. Remember, the Fireside Chat is not just about what might be happening in the world. And even when it is, I always use it to make a much larger point so that all of our Fireside Chats stay relevant, hopefully forever. But this is truly not based on anything in the news. And whenever I could do that, I love to do that. Remember, I wrote a book on happiness. I care as much about the micro as the macro. About the personal. It's funny, generally we associate that with the feminine part of the human species, more interested in people, and men more interested in politics, ideas, and so on. I think, by the way, a lot of women are now really interested in politics and ideas. But men still are generally not that preoccupied with, the personal. But I have always been preoccupied with the personal. It's people are the most interesting thing to me, even more than ideas. But basically combine them. This will be an example. Anyway, so I don't know how it arose, but it did. A guy called me on the radio and had this comment to me. He said, Dennis, I have the perfect word to describe you. So I thought, uh-oh.
Big tech censorship continues to be a big challenge for PragerU, and it's more important than ever that our audience watches our content on our platform. To continue watching this episode of the Fireside Chat, go to PragerU.com today.